Steve, Michael, it's great of you to invite me along to this Communities of Practice session with local government people, and I've got some great insights from it, but which I'll come back to. But what's the sort of issues that you're coming up against here?
Well, I think the best thing about all these sort of events is it's a learning experience for everybody, and I think that none of us have got answers, and I'm particularly trying to make sure that as we develop the platform that we're meeting the needs of the people that are using it. And I've actually picked up a number of quotes that intrigued me. One from a member who was asking about they're not sure they have the permission to innovate in their environment, and that sort of just illustrated to me the fact that there's still this power and command that's permeating down into how these communities work. And I really would like these communities to feel that they are empowered themselves to innovate, that they're not asking permission of their superiors. So, I mean, that was one thing, that's probably an issue to bear in mind. And I think the other one I picked up is I quote, "Someone read my blog." He's blogged for the first time in the community. Someone read my blog, and I got a real buzz out of it. It's not an ego trip or anything. And I think that tells me an awful lot. He's taken that step into an unknown, blogged, and he's actually found somebody that's read his blog, and he's feel really, really proud about it. So I think those sort of things really sort of make me quite happy.
And it seemed to me that communities of practice in local government field are really at this space in between the institutional, where you've got to do things in certain sorts of ways. You're a public sector, you've got it right, and you have to be fairly cautious, but the need to innovate. And so maybe they are a place not just for neutral sharing of knowledge and so on, but where quite a lot of challenging issues come up.
That's been the case for quite a few different communities over the last, say, year and a half, where they're actually having, compared to Steve's answer, but having the opportunity to ask questions to other organisations about what's going on, what can they learn, who's doing what really. So that actually someone's already doing this work before, so they're learning from mistakes or opportunities that have happened in the past, and they're taking it to their own organisation. So they might not be participating in such a way, but they're taking what's been learned from somebody else and implementing it in their own organisation. It's when you get people together, someone will actually say, "Oh, I copied that, or I used that in the past, I've now took it to our own organisation, and now it works for us." So everyone's having a chance to learn from each other. We're not 410 local authorities across England or Wales. We're trying to make it one local authority.
And obviously there's quite a lot of sharing of documents and the formal stuff and so forth, but is this about helping people get into the conversational mode to do what they do in the corridor and say to someone, "Can you help me on this, that and the other," but do it across communities?
Absolutely, and I know this actually comes back down to this whole issue of trust, sort of generating trust in the community. The conversations you have with colleagues around the water cooler would say, I mean, it's usually because you know them, and you trust that conversation. The online environment is a little bit more difficult because you possibly don't know everybody out there, and I think that part of this really, the face-to-face meetings of course are going to generate the trust. But I think one of the key things that facilitators, key challenge for facilitators, is establishing that trust in an online environment. And there's no easy answers, and I think that's actually why we're all here learning together on best ways of doing that.
And Michael, are you going to be experimenting with some new tools, bits of video, audio, social networking?
Yeah, I mean, I've already started using things such as SlideShare, Sprout Builder, looking possibly to go into podcasting as well. So it's really just seeing what's out there and what can be used to help move this forward. Really, it's not it's a new bit of technology. Just use it for just for a reason. It's just there. Actually, try and put it into what the needs of the community are. What's out there? What can they use? What can help them? So there's lots of different social media tools out there. Just using tools that work with the community and the people in the communities.